All right, folks, we are back for more Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising action for you here, and we're doing something fun. I think I want to do this a little bit more whenever you know, if you missed the videos that came out between this or something somehow, you know, we got Voss to Master, finally. Took a little bit. We banged our head against promos for quite a while, Masters promos. We got there eventually. So, as kind of like a victory lap, I think it'd be fun to do a couple of different things. Basically, just going over knowledge I gained playing the character, things like that. We went into a tournament with him, too, and it was very successful, funny enough. But yeah, so, we're going to do a little bit of this. Let me turn this, the music off in the background here. By the way, I want my Gamma's music instead. But yeah, so what we're doing here is we're going to basically, I think this is probably going to be the top 5 best moves that Voss has, in my opinion. Just because I was going to do top 5 best and worst, but my guess is I'm going to talk enough about just the best ones that I won't have time to like get through the worst ones. We'll split them into 2 videos, but it's fine. So when I say best moves, though, basically, I don't necessarily mean in how important they are to the character. And I want to make that clear in a second here. But first, before we get started, as always, know what it is. If you like these kind of videos, any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, helps out a lot. If you want to see these when they get recorded too, instead of like 2 weeks later, then make sure to come by and hang out on the stream as well, both Twitch and YouTube, every day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, except Fridays. Anyway, chilling out of the way. When I say best move, again, I don't mean how useful is it to Vaseraga, because sometimes characters are just like starving. And so a good example of this, right, is this is not on this list, believe it or not. This thing fucking sucks. This is the second worst reversal in the game, probably. It's this or you headbutt. But, oh my god, is this incredibly important for Voss. Because he has nothing else, right? So, in context of Voss's kit, this grab is amazing. But it's not a good move, right? Another good example of this is, you know, JL. This is a horrible cross-up button. But it is Vaseraga's only cross-up button. So it's very useful for Voss, but it's not one of his best moves, right? So I hope that clears it up when I say best move, I don't mean how important it is to the character. Just like, how good is this move, in my opinion, in like a relative vacuum. Obviously, it might like synergize with other parts of their kits, but it's, you know, it's not just because like, oh, you know, 2L is great because Voss is only 6-frame normal. No, this button sucks, but he needs it because, yeah, it's only 6-framer, right? Hope that makes sense. Anyway, so on to some honorable mentions. These are things that, again, I think, honestly, like, I had a hard time. Voss is a very polarized character. He has a lot of really good moves and a lot of really useless ones. So I had a hard time narrowing it down to just 5. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? But for some honorable mentions of things that I think you could have on here, let me bring this list up on the side here, so I'm just like keep it top of mind. But things you could have on here, but I didn't quite think that I agree with them, right? So this one I think is pretty firmly not in the top 5, but it's just like it is. I think it is a good move and it fills a niche that sometimes Voss can't fill any other way, and it is this, right? You follow up. So the reason this is even in this honorable mentions right here is that there are things that just like break Vaseraga's armor that this becomes like basically his only realistic answer to. This also is one of the reasons that the way this works, if you don't know, is it has infinite armor, whether he has Soul Forge or not, and its armor also beats supers, right? So this thing definitely has like uses for Vaseraga that only it can do, and having a move that just comes out and has instant, like immediate, infinite armor is definitely very good. And it's one of the big reasons that like stance, you can't just like super in stance and like be okay against Voss, because he has to like on reaction does this when you die. But this move is a little too situational for me to put it on here. But I did want to give it a shout out, just because like this is some of the it's also only -6 now. That's true, yeah. It is basically safe, essentially, literally all the time with the pushback on it, right? -6 from this far. So again, this move is good, but it's a little too situational. I more so put it on here as like a homie shout out because this thing is hilarious. This is my favorite move on Vaseraga, probably, right? This thing is so funny. When someone supers you from full screen, you do like this, and you just like smack them into the ground. It's hilarious, but like power level wise, it's probably not, doesn't really deserve to be here, I don't think. All right, so the actual first like real honorable mention probably is, I'm gonna say, and this is maybe this should be actually be on here, but hey, yo, Kira, thanks for the raid, man. Thank you. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome, Raiders. We're going through what in my opinion, are Vaseraga's 5 best and worst moves. You came just in time for some fun content here. Yeah, hi, Kira. But yeah, so my first honorable mention is U Fireball. Now, hear me out. This move, oh my god, is this move really important for Vaseraga, I think. This is one of the things that really sets him apart from Ladiva, I think, in terms of his just general power level, is like having something to do from over here that's actually quite threatening. Right? It's pretty crazy. This, not only, like, most of the time, if someone blocks this, you basically get the Soul Forge up for free in neutral, which is a very good thing, because Voss is always looking to get Soul Forge up, right? He wants Soul Forge up at all times for everything, right? And just, like, normally he has to get a knockdown or something to get that. But with this, you just like spend, you know, 32 meter and boom. If this hits, especially with the buffs post patch, right? You get EX tackle on this, and in a lot of cases, you might get a wall bounce off of that. Like if you're a little bit closer to the corner there, you get a whole wall bounce, and I did a lot of damage off that. So this move is very good for screen control for Vas, which is hard to come by for a slow big body like this, right? And also, it's quite fast, right? The fireball itself, point blank, is 11 frames, I think. Yeah, the fireball becomes active on frame 11, which is very fast for a fireball. The reason this isn't honestly on the top 5 is that Vasaraga's best moves are too good. Like, there's nothing wrong with this move. This move is really, really strong. It's just, it's not quite, like, if you Fireball got nerfed or taken down a peg or just, like, made worse in general, I think Vaseraga, the core of Vaseraga is still fine. But, man, does this thing do a lot. This actually does, like, I find myself using this probably more than any other use skill besides the grab, probably, right? I use this thing all the goddamn time. It is amazing. Okay. Final honorable mention before I get into the actual list here is not Soulforge. This is not going to be... Soulforge is not... I don't consider, like, the armor itself a move, right? What I'm talking about is once you already have armor up, the armored version of 5U, right? I'm going to put this... This is, like, number 6 in my head. Like, really. This thing is so useful for Vaseraga, right? You really could make an argument this should be on the list proper. But this is Vasaraga's only cross-up anti-air. It's his fastest anti-air. This thing is a good way to deal with stagger pressure, right? It's a meterless, like, it's basically a meterless, safer version of U-Tackle, damn near, right? This thing is -6 on block, but still. You get massive damage on hit here, right? So you go like bonk into this, into that, into this, into like you're just fucking dead, right? Like you staggered on Vaseraga and you die as a result, right? This thing is very, very good. However, again, the fact that this only... This move is a little risky, right? Again, I'll be honest, no. I was gonna try and like talk this thing down. This thing's really good, right? It's really good. This is like one of the scariest things about Vaseraga. Is again, the top 5 are just so goddamn strong that I don't think I can really like justify putting this up there. It's situational, true, but like the situations, there's like 7 of them, right? Defense, anti-airs. I mean, it's a combo tool in some cases, right? This thing is good, but it's not quite the core of Vasaraga's game plan, I would say, right? This thing is very good. It's not the core of his game plan. And again, this is not actual, like, getting the armor up. Like, obviously, this is Vasaraga's best move in its own tier. Being a, like, the non-armored version of Soulforge. Taking from no armor to armor. This is not on the list. I'm not counting this. This is obviously the best thing Vaseraga does, is this right here. But it's calling this a move isn't even, you know what I mean? So I'm talking about once you already have armor, doing this. That is our number 6, sort of, our last honorable mention. All right. Time for the actual list proper. And for number 5, call me a biased grappler main, but it's just going to be this, man. Command grab, specifically L, and with like a bit of a homie shout out to H. M command grab is not here, and U command grab is not here. M command grab is a very good anti-air, certainly, right? But again, I got to master without using this thing almost at all, basically. Like, it's good, and it covers the blind spot of 2H. I get it. But like, this move is good. It's not one of his best 5 moves, I don't think. And then U grab, like I talked about, is horrible. It's terrible. But light command grab, especially post-patch, and heavy command grab to a lesser extent, are sort of, they enable the core of Vasaraga's game plan. M is underrated. You're probably right, but I am going to underrate it right now. I'm not going to put it on this list. But they enable the core of Vasaraga's game plan, which is, at his heart, Vaseraga is the amount of rewards that this guy gets off counter hits is insane, right? Like counter hit close M into like EX tackle, especially post-patch, into all of this nonsense, right? Like, the amount of reward Vas gets for counter-hitting you, or, like, you know, obviously, like, counter-hit close H, or even just, like, you know, counter-hit 2M, gives a lot of rewards. Vaseraga really wants you to not just feel comfortable sitting there down backing. He wants you to mash, he wants you to jump. I mean, even, like, anti-airs, right? Like, getting like, this, like, as an anti-air in the corner, or is also, like, you know, it's a billion damage. So, Vas wants to make you scared. Making you afraid of him is the whole point of the character. If you are comfortable down backing, Vas can't do anything except, like, this, which is 40 frames long and has a lot of different counterplay options. So, honestly, you could argue command grab should be higher up here, but light command grab, especially being an unreactable command grab, means that it is just such a... And in the patch, in the Vaseraga patch, they like tripled the range of this thing. It used to be like damn near point blank to actually get this to grab. Now it's like the size of like Ladiva's M SPD or something. This thing is gigantic now. Having this, like, being able to unreactably open people up from this far away is terrifying. And light command grab, basically, like, it enables Vas's entire game plan. Heavy is just here as more of like a bit of a shout out as well. It's not as good, but being able to grab from this far away is crazy. right? Like, this is pretty wild. Yeah, and I guess, again, light command grab being so much bigger than, like, regular throw. Because it used to be a lot easier, like, it used to be a lot harder for Voss to space himself, where you wouldn't be able to, like, throw him out of the steppers. Now he can light command grab you from, like, triple your own throw range. So he's chilling. Right. So yeah, number 5, I think, is going to go to light and heavy command grab. Mostly light, with heavy kind of, like, peeking up from behind, and light saying, excuse me, he ordered, you know, fries with no ketchup, right? For number 4 is going to be the least bombastic move on this list, I think. But as I got better at Voss, and as I got to master with Voss, I think this move is, like, literally the reason, like, almost the reason that I got there, right? And it is the humble Far-L. This thing is really good. Now, hear me out. Is this an 8-frame Far-L? Yes. But don't really think of this as a Far-L. What this is, realistically, this is a plus on block Far-M, right? Is how you think about this. Voss doesn't have a Far-L, basically. But this is a plus on block Far-M. When you think about it that way, this move is really stupid. And by the way, it literally is, because this will clash with M's and crush lights, right? This is a medium. You just hit the light button to get it. This is a plus on block Far-M. This thing is just, I mean, I don't know. It's like literally the whole, like, it is almost the foundation of Vaseraga's, like, strike pressure, right? This thing is gigantic. It's plus on block, right? He gets a ton of reward off this for basically all the time, counter hit or not, right? On counter hit, you can go, like, bonk to get 2, and makes it really easy to convert. Even on non-counter, you can just go into stance, right? You go into this, and you get conversion off of it. This thing is a gigantic plus on block, heavy ass poke that leads into basically all of Vaseraga's mix. Like, when Voss gets you scared of light command grab, you know, the thing that then will kill you for that is this right here. I mean, it'll be in stance, I guess, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, like this is the other half of, like, Vaseraga's basic offensive game plan, right? Again, we'll talk about you later. If you didn't think this thing was gonna be pretty high up there, you're dumb. But yeah, Far-L is a very, very important button for Voss. Again, plus on block, gigantic, crushes lights, leads into all sorts of different reward on hits, great for pressure, recovers pretty quick as well. 20 frames is pretty slow for a Far-L, I think. But again, it's actually pretty quick. I mean, I feel like I gotta compare this, for example, right? Zeta Far-M is a 30-frame total move. Now again, Zeta's a bit of a slower one. But, like, Zeta Far-M is a 30-frame total move with 10-frame startup. It crushes lights. Yeah, it's medium attack level. It'll clash. I can show you right now. I like to show rather than tell. Let me have Zeta do this. Wait. Oh, wait. Oh, the timing's gonna be a little bit. Let's have her do it on maybe on block or something. Oh god. Wait. I got there. You gotta believe in me. You just gotta believe in me. Oh, come on, Zeta. I believe in you. I believe in you, Zeta. Oh god, the difference in speed between them is too hard. Pressure really come into factor a lot. Well, I mean, again, it's still the point is my bad. Zeta's M button is surprisingly slow. Yeah. My bad. You gotta believe me though. I'll have her jump and do it first. That should be easier for timing. Maybe. Hold on. Let me record her. Jumping and then Far-Ming. That should help me time it out a little bit easier, I think. One day. There you go. Okay. It took him a lot of tries, but as you can see right there, all of Vaseraga's Scythe normals are 1 attack level higher than they should be. His lights are mediums, his mediums are heavies, and his heavies are bulldozers, right? So yeah, this is essentially a Far-M. And when you when you think about it that way, this is a 20 frame total, 8 startup, 4 active frame, plus 2 on block Far-M. That leads into tons of reward on hits. This move is absurd, right? This is an insane ass move. Your character would love this. Your character would love to have a Far-M. We got on, like, I'm gonna go this. We got on block from a plus on block 2M. This is a plus on block Far-M. It's not as good, but this is in that echelon of button, I think. Like, this is a very underrated button. This is in discussion for best button in the video game, in my opinion. This thing feels so incredibly strong. Every time you hit this thing, you're laughing. You're just cackling as you have a plus on block poke from this far away, right? Well, it's a 6 frame 5M, true, but it's not plus on block, right? And it's only 6 frames from really up close, right? This is better than Belial 5M, point blank, right? The reward is only in corner, unfortunately, true, but even outside of the corner, he still gets like this into like Soulforge again, so still good. That's what happens. I think this is what keeps him as good as he is. Yeah, it's a very good button. So yeah, Far-L is the only Vaseraga normal on this list. Maybe, like, could have given a shout out to 2M, but 2M is basically a sweep, right? It's very important for Voss, but it is at the end of the day, it's just a sweep, right? It's a good button, but it's not god tier or anything, so we'll keep it off the list. But yeah, number 4, Far L, and now we go from there. So, number 3. This is a bit of a weird one, right? I'm kind of putting this for all of Battalions of Fear is what I have written down. I'm gonna get this for other characters too. The plan, Kira, is like when I get someone to master, I'm gonna do this as like a, as like a summary of what I've learned with them. I'm gonna do a couple different videos like this to summarize what I learned. But yeah, as number 3, I just have Battalions of Fear in brackets all, right? But they're good for different reasons, right? But I couldn't, So okay, with Soulforge up, right? Light Battalions has no armor, but it's a medium move. It clashes with mediums. And it's a good way to just get in on people. And it's very tough at a glance to tell if light or medium is happening. There's a difference. Medium back to the screen, light face the screen, right? Is how you tell. But it's very hard to like just decide like, oh, I'm gonna far H this thing and crush it. This is not something you do. Isn't it plus if spaced? Also true, yeah. So like Light Battalions is a very good approach option for Voss. It's plus from anywhere outside of right here in round start. Like right round start, I think it's minus. But if you get like just, or even, yeah, if you get a little bit away, it's plus, right? So the thing is plus, a very easy way for Voss, just like plus on block, skip the neutral. And then M is the same thing, but with armor. This move, like, invalidates some matchups. Voss being able to just do this makes it, like, if you don't have a good way to deal with armor, it's one of the problems with that, right? It's like, you just can't stop Voss from doing this. Now he's plus in your face, and by the way, he's plus 4 with his gigantic-ass far M. That will let him continue plus on block pressure, right? So, L and M Battalions are both very good for charging in on people, right? And again, mixing between them is very good. H is like, I mean, H is just like, the reason that Vaseraga is the highest damage character in the game in the corner, besides maybe Abel, is because of H tackle, right? This thing is, like, the buffs they did to this thing, and like, even in the mid-screen, his average conversion damage with H tackle doing what it does now has just gotten so much higher, man. Like, this thing wall bouncing, like, this is not fair. Oh, it's on counter hit only. You get this? Yeah, my bad. It's on counter hit far H. You get the link, right? Like this, like the fact that like this can happen, right? If you're closer to the corner, he gets a wall bounce, and then you just like die. Or if he gets like counter like close M, right? Voss close M is plus on block. If you get counter hit close M, and he gets this, right? And he just goes, he goes into fireball. He goes into it's hold on, it's I know do this combo. Let me just see if I can actually land it here. It's like this into that into like close H into this. Into that, into this, or something like that. I think I'm missing one element there. There's like a 2H somewhere, but like, you get counter hit close end, and you take like literally 12,000 damage because fuck you, I guess, because H tackle exists. That was not the optimal combo either. I messed something up there. I forget exactly. But yeah, like H tackle, what it does for Voss's conversions and his damage is just disgusting. So you could have counter hit. You could have close H after the counter hit close M for more damage. Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. But you got the idea, yeah. So like this. H tackle, probably funny enough, is actually the worst one of these 3, right? L, M, and H. H is a combo tool mostly, and it's a very good one, but L and M are more, again, fundamental to what Vaseraga does, I think. But it's because H is still very important. I'm including all Battalions of Fear. You might be asking, what about this guy? I have news for you. And this is where I say all Battalions of Fear. I don't include this guy. This might be the most controversial thing. This move is, I don't know. This move is good. This move is strong. This move should have been in the honorable mentions at the very least. But when I wasn't playing Vaseraga, I thought the move was way bigger than it was, right? Or way better than it was. Once you actually play this guy, you realize how rarely you get to actually throw this thing out without dying or without just getting mashed out of it, right? This is not a reversal if you don't know. This thing is armored on frame 5, right? So, again, this is not a reversal. This is a much better use skill than this, right? But this more so fits into... This move is really good for Vaseraga because his defense is so bad. But U-Tackle is actually not as good as I first thought it was before I played the guy. Without Alt-Tackle, Alt-Grab isn't usable. Type B? Yeah. Like, it's very necessary for Vaseraga's defense, the same way this is. But this move is pure ass, and this move is okay. It's not, this is much better than the grab, but it's not amazing. When I say all Battalions of Fear, I mean light, medium, and heavy. I don't include you here. You is good. That's about it, right? This thing is unsafe on block against basically the entire cast. Anywhere you use it now, like if you use it like in a realistic scenario that you would use it, which is in the corner here, and they block it, everyone gets a punish on this, right? The corner combos are finicky, and even if you can get them consistently, the U damage scaling means like, getting hit with 4,000 damage here, that's a lot of damage, right? It's a lot of damage, right? But Voss is taking a big risk using this, right? And again, that's not that much. In the mid-screen, it's certainly scarier, because in the mid-screen, it gets better combos off this, and, like, you know, you can really send you to hell for getting hit with this in the mid-screen, right? But again, this thing is only okay. This thing is only okay, I think. So, U-Tackle does not get the spot. When I say all Battalions of Fear, I mean light, medium, and heavy. For light and medium's essential use for Vasaraga's getting in, and just, like, how hard they are to stop, right? The counterplay to U-Tackle, by the way, is just do a bunch of lights on Voss, right? Stagger, like just, you know, light pressure into, like, throws and stuff. Be very careful doing, like, really big staggered mediums and stuff against Voss. You can kind of light Voss to death, because both of his reversals lose to, like, just a bunch of lights. This gets safe jabbed, and this gets hit before it gets armor, right? I'm not saying it's that easy, but, like, again, there's very clear counterplay to both of these, whereas, like, with L and M Battalions, it's like, oh, you can spot dodge, but, you know, the timing for that one is different, and this one is different, and you can charge this to make it even more different, and if you get countered, you die, and this one is also... There's different timing for this, too. So again, these are much harder to stop and much stronger in general, and it'll be a much bigger blow to Voss if he lost, if like, these got a lot worse. U-Tackle got nerfed a lot, and Voss is still fine. His defense is already ass anyway, right? Anyways, that is number 3. For number 2, this is a bit of a... It's a bit of a double dip, I guess, but very specifically, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna not block this thing right here. The light stance follow-up. I'm gonna call is Vasaraga's second best move, right? And why, right? Maybe I'm tripping with this. Maybe I'm overrating this move a little bit. But man, does this feel like this was like this is like the default Ender in stance, right? Stance is the best thing that Vasaraga has. It's a thing that makes him a character, basically. Is like armored stance. And this thing is just your go-to option. This thing is the only stance option that is plus... Oh, excuse me. Didn't mean to do that. It's the only stance option that's plus on block, right? This thing is plus 1 on block, right? It's like minus 11 on whiff out of the EX stance. But a lot of the times people they're not ready for that. You can uncheck them. Yeah, it's plus 8 out of the EX stance as well, right? It's like minus 11 on whiff out of EX stance, but people will get unchecked by this a lot, and they won't like do very much with it. So you can kind of like take turns back with this sometimes, or at the very least, it's a good way to just like end your stance. It's the best way. Like this is the other half. The reason this is higher than the command grabs on this list is this is the payoff for the command grab conditioning, right? Command grab makes people want to jump or backdash, and this is what kills them for doing that, right? In the mid screen, it's not that big of a deal. Right, in the mid-screen, it just knocks them away, but, you know, you get Soul Forge back, and, you know, that's great. You're in your win condition, again, right? It doesn't cover crouch and longer cover super jump. I mean, it kind of covers crouch, because, again, it's a pretty difficult reaction check with how... I'll be more for the idea of, like, oh, just react forehead if Voss stance wasn't such a incredibly high mental stack state to be in, right? There is so much to worry about. He loses armor, so it's fine. Oh yeah, but you can basically like it's a nice he loses armor on any stance follow up. But yeah, so you can steal turns back with this, or you know, in theory even it's just a nice default way to always end your stance and be fine. The risk reward on this is very high generally. But yeah, in the corner you don't really get too much, or in the mid screen you don't get too much off it. But again, you can knock them away and get your Soul Forge up. So hooray, right? Nice and easy. That's your win condition again, is having Soul Forge up and like getting them closer to the corner. And in the corner, of course, like this thing, you know, this turns you into mashed potatoes if you get hit by this in the corner, right? Especially the EX version where you get like better confirms off this. You get like this into, you know, whatever nonsense you're interested in that day, right? This is the payoff for the command grab conditioning, basically. This also is one of Voss's best, one of his like main anti-airs, right? This thing covers people jumping. Like, the angle this covers is gigantic. It doesn't hit behind him, right? But again, the hitbox on this thing is real big, right? Real big like. So this thing does a lot of Vasaraga's taxes. This is an anti-air. This is a pressure tool. This is a combo tool. This is, you know, it's a good way. It's a good way to, again, reaction check people, get things more on their mental stack. This move does almost everything for Vaseraga. The one thing this move doesn't do for Voss is defense, right? He can't defend himself with this move, really, right? Unless you count anti-airing as that. Which is why this is only our number 2 move on this list. Because our number 1 move actually does everything for Vaseraga. For real. This is me. So I think a lot of this list, there's like you can argue, you can be like, no, I think this should be higher, this should be lower, this shouldn't be on here, this should be on here. Fine. If you don't think that this next move is Vasaraga's best move, you might be right. I might have something, you know, fundamentally wrong with me. But the way that I currently understand Vaseraga, I can't see an argument for this not being in a tier by if this was a tier list, it would be in a tier by itself, right? And the move that I'm talking about is very specifically 2-2H. This. Not the follow-ups, not anything, just this thing right here. This, to me, I think, is Vasaraga's best move by literally a country mile. This thing does literally fucking everything for the character, right? This is Ult Fireball is Vas's best move. I think that's on here, but I personally don't agree. You could be right. But this, to me, is like, it feels like Vasaraga's best move by like a million miles. This does literally everything, okay? Say you have Soul Forge up, which, again, Vaseraga is not a character without this, so we're going to assume that all of his moves aren't good, basically, if you don't have Soul Forge up. But if you have Soul Forge up, this move, right, is Vaseraga's literal best defensive option. This is why U-Tackle's not on here, by the way, because if you want a U-Tackle, this is a better version of U-Tackle, basically, right? The armor starts up on frame 5. It's safer than U-Tackle, right? You can get, you know, sometimes just as much reward, depending on, puts you immediately into your win condition, which is a stance, right? The RPS, right? It's his best defensive option. It's like his combo filler in literally everything. All of his confirms are something at the 2-2H, right? Whether, you know, literally almost any combo you can think of includes a 2-2H stepper somewhere, right? Right, this into 2-2H, or like, you know, I don't know, some like again, some nonsense into, off of like off of a sweep, or like this sweep into that, or, you know, getting again like this into that, into fireball, into the combos, right? In every single Vaseraga combo, 2-2H is somewhere. It is his ultimate tool for defense. He can just immediately just start RPS in the neutral if he has Soul Forge up and just starts walking at you, right? This move does literally everything for Vaseraga. I don't even know, like, this feels so far and away to be the best move for Vas. I don't even know, like, how to explain it, you know what I mean? He can't do anything without, like, this move literally does everything. It defends him, it's his neutral, it's his offense, it's his combos. I mean, if anything, this thing does an anti-air, I guess. That, you know, that's where the light stance follow up anti-airs and this doesn't. Sure, fair enough, right? But this is like the best version of every single Vaseraga move in one single input. It's better than U-Tackle. It's like a better defensive option than U-Tackle, right? It's a better combo filler than anything he's got. It's a better everything. It does everything. I'm sorry. I'm like rambling a bit. This move is just so far and away. Like, if Vaseraga did not, if 2-2H did not step forward like this, it's second for me. U-Fireball's number 1. I don't think so. I think U-Fireball is good, but this to me, like, if this thing didn't move forward, because again, like, you know, this is good, but it's not as good as this, right? If 2-2H did not step forward, Vas genuinely drops like an entire tier, I think. In my opinion, this thing is so essential to like everything Vas does. If he couldn't do this, he drops like an entire tier. Keep him exactly the same. U-Tackle, U-Fireball, Far L, everything on this list. But this thing is just so unbelievably absurd that I feel like it carries the character on its back. It does his fucking taxes. It puts his kids to bed. It feeds him. It meal preps for his ass. It combos for him. It defends him. It does his neutral for him. It confirms his hits. So that, to me, 2-2H feels like number 1 by a bullet, essentially. I will say, again, so to recap the list real quick, is there an OS that covers most of his walk follow-up options? Sometimes I just roll and throw him. Sometimes I die for doing that. There's not a real good OS, I don't think. If meal preps, I know, man. This thing is insane. I mean, like, Vas being like, if Vas has armor and is in stance in your face like this, it's very Vas favorite RPS, basically. You can throw him, but he can stop early. He can like not get right up to you and throw you, right? Or he can like do a preemptive light follow-up or something to beat your throw, right? Or he can do this to counter hit you, or like he can basically do the follow-ups from outside of your throw range, right? Or like, yeah, like it's bad, it's bad. There is no like one size fits all OS for Vas's stance pressure. If there was, he'd be bottom 1, but there isn't, which is why he's actually quite scary, right? Okay, so to recap, right? To recap. Hit into DP? Sure, but even that, I mean, that hit is a little bit, like, swinging on the stance is already scary, right? Because counter hits on the stance can send you to hell a lot of the times. Simply take the throw, and that's a good option sometimes. But yeah, so, to recap, so honorable mentions, again, the U follow-up for the stance, again, more of a homie include. I just think this guy's funny, so I like him, right? But he's probably not, like, he's not in the same, like, power level of everything else we talked about here, so I'm just gonna keep him there, but because I like the guy, because he's cute, because he has a good vibe about him, right? But, 5U with armor up, right? 5U with armor up is in the honorable mentions as well. I have U Fireball in the honorable mentions. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe this should be higher. But again, the rest of the moves for Vaseraga, I know they feel so much more fundamental to his like basic game plan that I have, as I have experienced it. Like, I couldn't quite fit this over like, I mean like, The one argument I could see is like, I could see myself overrating Battalions a little bit. If you wanted to like flip this, and if you wanted to like put Battalions in honorable mentions and put you Fireball at number 3, I could see that. But overall, as I currently conceptualize Voss, I like Battalions more than I like Fireball personally, right? And then top 5 is the command grabs. Again, L and H in particular, and mostly L. L is the homie. Far L at number 4. Battalions of Fear, light, medium, and heavy at number 3. The stance L, right, at number 2, and 2-2H, the steppers right here, the beginning of this, like this little forward walking stepper right here, as number 1 again, by like a country mile. I can see some discussion on this list. I don't, like, people are saying you Fireball is number 1. I don't understand. Like this 2-2H is actually like the dumbest thing about this character. It does literally fucking everything. So I personally, like right now, I can't see a world that's not number 1 by a million miles, but to each their own, I guess. But yeah, that is going to be, in my opinion, Vasaraga's 5 strongest moves right there. Again, the character is very top-heavy, right? He's got a lot of good stuff, but he's also very bottom-heavy. You're going to do worse in a second here. But I think I can stand by this to some extent anyway, right? Yeah. Vaseraga has been mastered, fun character, very finicky. But again, these moves help to make the experience a little bit less painless, right? So, we're going to do the worst ones. I guess, yeah, it also has been 30 minutes, so I guess we will do the worst ones in their own video right here. But real quick, let's send the VOD watchers on their way. So, hello, VOD watchers. Hope you had a good time with the video. If you did, any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, all that good stuff helps out a lot. We know how it is. I also have a stream that I do every week, or not every week, every day, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on both Twitch and YouTube, except for Fridays if you want to come by and hang out. I also have a Discord if you want to join that. Good place to hang out, learn more about the game, you know, tell me about how wrong I am about this list or something. But if you do join, be nice, or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a good time hanging out today. As always, I know I sure did. Yeah, fun time. Voss was a fun journey. He is over now. We're going to do a little bit more, you know, side content for him here, but we're moving on to Eustace after that, so that'll be fun. Having a lot of fun with Granblue. Going to be a lot more coming your way, and until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.